Greetings everyone. Now before today's video officially begins, I have some warnings. First off, I do not own any Disney related films or things. I do not own Aladdin. I do not own Aladdin 2, Aladdin 3, or any of the other Disney-related properties. I do not own My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, Naruto, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, One Piece, Dragon Ball, and many others. I own none of these properties, and they all belong to their correct owners. I do not own any art, pictures, or sound, music you hear in this video. The only things I own are my voice and the story itself. Without any further ado, roll the intro. Greetings, travelers. It is I, Nicholas Kibutsuchi, here once more to tell you of a great tale. This tale, of course, happens many, many, many years after another. Allow me to explain. Before we can begin our story, we must begin at the beginning, the very beginning. Long ago, in a wondrous place, a dimension between fantasy and reality, the Arabian Nights, there was nothing but magic and wonder, beauty and excellence, mystery, darkness, light, and magic. There is a lot of magic and wonder within this beautiful realm. Of course, however, the Arabian Nights were not always peaceful. They were a twisting, turning realm filled with both good and evil. And our story belongs to that of the descendant or son of one of the most evil. You see, in this world, there were many items you could use to help you along your way. No matter what you chose to be, a king, a thief, a mage, a hermit, a sage, and many more. You could be anything. And in this land, if you knew how to do it and had the right tools. Well, one of the most feared tools and the most powerful was a special oil lamp. It was small and golden, but whoever rubbed on it but when it was rubbed, a magical blue entity would come from it, the genie, a mysterious and powerful entity, capable of granting 3 wishes with only 3 rules. You can't wish for more wishes. You can't bring anyone back from the dead. Sorry. And you can't make anyone fall in love with you. Now, these were 3 very big rules. Of course, after a while, new rules had been created. Like, the genie could not directly kill someone. But if it was wished. Of course, such rules eventually became, well, they began to change like the wind. Becoming rules and becoming opinions. Basically. Just simple guidelines that would eventually be reinstated as rules, or not, as opinions. But anywho, back to our story. In this realm, in the Arabian Nights, there was a beautiful town, or kingdom, called Agrabah. And in Agrabah, there was one in particular who was secretly stronger than everyone else when it came to what they could do. Her name was Jafira. Jafira was a very powerful mage. She had the ability of, well, hypnotism. She was also conniving and intelligent. She even used hypnotism to make the Sultan make her his royal advisor, the second most powerful when it came to who wore the pants in the kingdom. But, of course, she wanted more. And so she sought the legendary genie. However, when she tried to enter the cave of wonders, the place where the genie's lamp was hidden, she could not enter. Because when she did, well, she was only given a riddle and a dead traveler. You see, she never did things the I'm going to do it myself way. No. That simply wasn't Jafira's style. At least not most of the time. Most of the time, I'm back when she still had many weaknesses. Jafira used others with her great manipulation skills. She promised them riches, wealth, everything their dreams could possibly give them. And what she did was she turned those dreams against them. However, one day, she found the person who had entered the cave, tricked them into getting the lamp, but it slipped right through her fingers. The genie was freed and obeyed the boy's wishes. And eventually, her entire empire that she had slowly and secretly built, controlling the armed guards, and controlling the very guards of the palace with her own manipulation and their devotion to her. Controlling not just the guards, but the very Sultan himself on a mental and physical level. She was truly a master of manipulation and intelligence. However, she did not foresee the genie being used against her. Of course, she eventually got it, and was virtually unstoppable. She wished to be the strongest sorcerer in the land and to ever live. So she gained many, many great powers and skills, and she was even considered to be at the power level of a god or demigod. However, she still wasn't strong enough. She was tricked by a boy named Aladdin, who then said, "You will always be number 2. After all, no one is stronger than the genie." This angered her, Jafira, of course, and so she made one wish. "I wish to become an all-powerful genie." And then it happened. Jafira herself was given, and quite literally, limitless power and potential. She was so powerful, in fact, that no one could even fathom beating her. However, she miscalculated one big thing. Phenomenal cosmic powers and a bit of living space. She was sucked within a black and red lamp, which was then supposed to be chucked into the Cave of Wonders for a couple thousand years. But what they didn't notice was the genie threw it a bit too hard, causing the lamp to fly out of the the atmosphere of the Arabian Nights and off the world as a whole. It flew through the cosmos and through multiple realms, till one day it reached a world similar to the planet Earth. However, it was not shaped like the Earth at all. In fact, its shape was the shape of the ground or land was more similar to Pangea, of all things. But hold on. She had landed in this strange Earth-like place. But it wasn't Earth at all. The ground, as I said before, was shaped a lot like Pangea, of all things. However, not even a couple of minutes later, not even an hour later, someone found the lamp. A man named Tenji. Of course, back then he was simply a child, around the age of 4. However, due to basically being a king or emperor, due to basically being a prince, Tenji was grew up with a lot of ideas and thoughts. He heard his mom multiple times say how men never understood how hard it was to be a woman. And so Tenji, being an absolute goon at the time, rubbed the genie lamp. Not knowing what it was, of course. He simply was seeking just, some warmth for the night. Expecting, just at least a tiny bit of oil that he could light up, or at least even some flame. But what came out was even more impressive. A beautiful red genie. She had flowing black hair which appeared to defy gravity. Golden yellow eyes which pierced through the night. And clothing which appeared to resemble a god or goddesses at the time. She then said, "Who dares disturb me from my thinking?" As she saw the little boy, and she said, "Ah, a child. Very well then. You've rubbed my lamp, so I suppose I am inclined to answer 3 wishes of yours. Look, I'm new to this whole genie gig, so wish away and then be gone. As he then said, okay, my first wish is I wish for every single creature, or I wish for every single being that has ever existed. He said this all with a bit of a stutter, of course, or a lisp, because he's a friggin' child. I wish for everything that's ever existed and ever will exist and is existing to become a woman and become a female. I also wish that this can never be undone. Not by you or anyone else. Imaginable and unimaginable, he said with a cute little lisp, due to him being basically a 7-year-old. Jafira was very intrigued and confused about his wish. Why the heck would this boy ask for every single creature existent to become existing, and will exist to become a female, and for it to be impossible to undo? Jafira decided to look at the rules to see if there was anything against such a wish. Turns out there wasn't. There was no wish saying, and there was no rule saying you couldn't wish for something to be basically impossible to undo. So, she said, all right, your wish is my command, child. And just like that, kaboom. Every single thing, every single living, dead, and not yet living entity was turned into a female. She was confused at this strange and somewhat perverse wish, but he did it because, well, obviously, this is her life now. Unless she can somehow trick the boy into freeing her, well, then oof. Or the now girl into freeing her, then oof. As she then said, all right, now, what is your second wish, little girl? As she would then say, my second wish. My second wish is so that you wouldn't be lonely. My second wish is that you won't be lonely. Because it seems like in that small black lamp, you're really lonely. You don't really have anyone. Now, this part was a bit true. You see, Iago, Jafira's assistant and basically talking pet bird, had been, well, how do I explain it? Yeah. Basically, Iago had betrayed her at the last moment. And before she could drag Iago into the lamp with her, he flew away and the genie basically slapped her hand away, stopping her from grabbing Iago. So, she was very lonely now. She understood that now she was basically an immortal, unkillable entity. And a genie. Quite literally, now she was going to be there till everything ended. Or her lamp was destroyed. Which she then said, before you make that second wish, I have one little suggestion. Now, there was nothing in the rules that said you couldn't influence a wish, although there are many other kinds of rules strictly forbidding anything and near influencing a wish, but not exactly influencing a wish, so it was, in a way, perfectly legal. As Jafira then said, I want you to wish that my lamp here, and that this little lamp here, the one you rubbed, can never be broken and can never be destroyed. Whether it's burned, erased from existence, or everything else. Got it? The child then said, alright, I wish your lamp here would be indestructible to anything existent and non-existent. And then, kapoof, it happened. The lamp was then gifted with quite literally indestructible power, and was quite literally gifted with unmatched and unmatchable durability. This meant that Jafira was now basically immortal. She couldn't die due to the fact our only known weakness was the lamp. It couldn't be broken though, so now she was basically unstoppable. However, before she could trick the boy into doing his last wish, or freeing her, she made one itsy-bitsy miscalculation that the boy's parents would be, or mothers, wouldn't be and wouldn't be behind him. And so, we heard a female who sounded like a queen or empress say, Kenja, stay away from that creature. It's a demon. And Oni, stay away. Jafira was insulted. How dare they? She then said, excuse me, mortals. I am an all-powerful genie. I grant wishes. I don't eat people or take souls. As she would then think in her mind, at least not yet. The parents, however, were blinded with rage that what they thought to be a demon was trying to kill their now daughter. And so, they then see, and so what they did next was put the lid on the lid on the lamp, and then try to destroy it. They tried putting it in lava. They tried electrocuting it with storms. They even tried simply breaking it with hammers, axes, and even just simply throwing it from a very high cliff or building. It didn't work. The lamp was basically indestructible. And this was a big problem. Hold on. And so, sorry, where was I? Ah, yes. And so, the lamp was then believed to be quite literally indestructible, because it basically was. The Empress and, the Empresses, I guess one would say, then decided that, that the lamp would be buried within the deepest reaches of the dungeons and caves, so that no one would ever find such a would ever release such a terrifying evil ever again. However, one day, a beautiful goddess came many years later. And, Tenja and her fell in love. The goddess, however, was very curious about something. Tenja would always warn her to never, ever go into the dungeons or the basement. I'm into the basement where the dungeons and caves were. But she never left any more information other than don't go down there. It's dangerous. So, one day, the curious, pale-skinned and silver-haired woman went down into the caves. And there she found traps of all kinds. Of course, by using chakra, she was able to fly around the traps. And then she found it, the black lamp itself, just sitting there. But with her Byakugan, she could see a large trembling amount of power and destructive aura simply just oozing and gushing out of the lamp itself. Kaguya then grabbed the lamp and simply held it in her hands, where she then heard a strange voice, like a feminine voice from the inside, as she then said, "Psst, rub the lamp." As Kaguya then said, Who said that?" As the feminine voice then said, "I'm right here, in the lamp. Rub it." Kaguya, however, knew better, so she said, "Why should I? For all I know, you could be a demon. Or something even worse." As the voice then said, "Fine, I promise not to harm you or any of your friends and family, just as long as you rub the lamp." As she then said, "Fine." And so, Kaguya rubbed the lamp precisely 3 times on the side. The lid then opened up, and from the black lamp appeared the bright red, fiery beam once more. As she then said, "Hello." And as she then said, "It feels so good to be free after 3 decades, 2 decades? Who cares? The important thing is I'm finally free." As Kaguya would then say, "Who are you, and what were you doing in that lamp?" As she would then say, "Well, allow me to explain. I am a genie." What is a genie, you might be asking yourself, or trying to figure out in your head? Well, allow me to explain. A genie is a quite literally unmatched being, with quite literally unparalleled and ultimate, unimaginable cosmic powers. But we are condemned to the life of living within these lamps. And believe me, it's very tight in there. Very small. As she would then say, "So, you have freed me. Very well then. What are your wishes?" As Kaguya would then say, "Wishes." As Jafira would then say, "Yes, wishes. A genie grants and the rubber of the lamp 3 wishes. Now, tell me, what are your 3 wishes?" As Kaguya would then say, "What are the prices of these wishes? I, more than anyone, know the price, that with every single power and advantage comes a great price." As then Jafira would then say, "You actually might be different than all of these flesh bags, and than all of these weaklings. Plus, I can sense some power within you. A great skill. Great power indeed. Although nothing compared to my own if I was free. Honestly, I can do quite literally anything. I can manipulate the cosmic boundaries of existence. I can control reality. I could even manipulate the suns and stars to my very whims just by just by flicking my wrist. As she would then say, I have quite literally limitless, unparalleled power, but I am trapped within this lamp, you see. As Kaguya would then say, yeah, I'm not wishing you free. I already can tell you're pretty evil. Or you will be a big problem for me later on. As Kaguya would then say, 3 wishes. Alright then. I wish for there to be... Alright then. I wish for there to be a being strong that was 50% of your, or 50% of whatever you are, and 50% of me. In other words, I wish for a perfect fusion which breaks the rule and which would be different than all of existence. I wish for a being which could be actually be different from all of existence by being a fabled race known as the male. Apparently, many of the humans here believe them to be myths. However, I remember around, 30, 40 Earth years ago, there was a large amount of them. And then poof, they all went away. As Jafira would then say, yes, well, allow me to explain. There was this little boy, I think he was a prince. He made 2 wishes. The first wish was, for every single creature that has existed, is existing, and ever will exist, to all be female. And no one can undo such a wish. The second is, quite simple. For the lamp which I reside in to be quite literally indestructible to anything unimaginable and imaginable. In other words, allow me to explain. If my lamp were to be destroyed and I would not be free, I would actually die. So, yeah, basically I'm unstoppable. I'm unkillable. However, I am still not free. Therefore, I cannot do things all by myself. I can only grant wishes till I am free from such a burden. And then I will be free to do whatever I wish. As Kaguya would then say, right, well, back to my first wish. I wish for there to be a being 50% Otsutsuki, my race, and 50% genie. Precisely, a being that is 50% of my blood and 50% of yours. A child of ours, if you will. I also wish for it to be the forgotten race of male. However, Jafira knew that this would not be possible, as the boy's wish would be impossible to undo. As Kaguya would then smile, as she would then say, I already have a loophole for this. As she would then say, I wish for the child to be out of existence. Yes, out of be born out of existence and then be brought into existence. After all, the wish was everything that has existed, is existing, and will exist. Meaning that if it is out of existence, it is not affected by said wish. However, after its birth, said male can be brought into this world, if I'm correct. Jafira then smirked, knowing that this woman had just found a loophole to the boy's wish. A very creative one at that. It is true, if the boy did not exist, never had existed, and never will exist, as in being created out of existence, it would be male. However, she did not fully know whether or not, if the male was brought into existence, would it turn into a female. She had no possible idea, but it was worth a shot. And so she did the wish, creating a 50-50 being, created from the divine power of Kaguya's blood and the unparalleled, unlimited power of Jafira's genie blood. And then it seemed like as if an infinite amount of suns clashed all at once. The creation, then the baby, was then blasted into existence. A beautiful child. It was amazing. However, he appeared to have human skin, but yellow hair. Whatever the reason for this was, it was not entirely known, but it was still an impressive feat, to be honest. Jafira had done her first loophole wish, or unknowingly tricking someone to leave a loophole within their wish that could simply be bypassed. If one undid the correct and necessary things to bypass said wish. And therefore, the first and last male was created. However, Kaguya then said, "My second wish is to keep the boy." However, Jafira was actually pissed off, as she was enraged that this creature, being quite literally half of her and half of this female, basically being her own child, was being taken away from her. And like any normal pissed off mother, Jafira wouldn't have it. However, and instead of throwing a giant temper tantrum, she was able to use her manipulation skills, basically by using the first prehistoric talk no jutsu. She used said ultimate skill and tricked Kaguya into altering her secondary wish. As she then said, "I wish for the boy to be with me as of right now. However, I do wish for him to be immortal and inharmable. Harmable, as in he does not have the lamp drawback of you, but also he will not have the drawback of my race, which is not exactly a pretty one." Jafira had completed her newest plan 50% by basically tricking Kaguya into giving the child no imaginable weaknesses. as from simply digging into Kaguya's mind, Jafira knew that, well, chakra was a very important thing to the Otsutsuki race. And, well, she didn't want her son to be a rampaging, extremely powerful planet eater who is basically mindless. She then manipulated Kaguya a secondary time. She then said, before she could even make her wish, Kaguya then, and Jafira then decided to manipulate Kaguya one final time. This time, instead of using her Takno Jutsu skills, she would use mind control on Kaguya, as she would then make Kaguya say, "Hey, this child is bound to Jafira, to the great, powerful genie Jafira, forever. And I only serve as its caretaker, and possible lover. For the future." As then Jafira would then say, "The wish is done." As she would then snap her fingers, as the wish would then be done. Kaguya's mind would then change, as she would feel a very motherly urge to protect and love the child. As she would then say, "What do you want its name to be? And what do you want his name to be?" Jafira then thought long and hard and said, "Name the boy Naruto. It means maelstrom. In a part of the lands where I'm from, it means maelstrom. Or at least from what I've heard. A maelstrom of chaos and destruction would be very fun." As Kaguya would then say, "Alright then, Naruto it is." We skip a couple years later. Naruto was a child, imbued with nearly limitless power. He did have the power to change from having a tail to having legs. Normally, he looked like this, pretty much. Except, more royal-esque. Imagine a black and red robe on his entire body, for most of the time. And his hair being a lot more neat looking. Basically Madara's type of hairstyle, but longer and more silky. However, the other half of the time, he did have his tail, when his two legs would basically turn into a gold and fiery blaze. He was a very powerful old boy, even compared to his other two half-brothers, Tenji and Hagoromo and Hamori. He was still believed to be the strongest of the three siblings. Basically unbeatable. However, one day, when their mother went a bit, as the sisters said, cuckoo, Naruto showed rage, and showed great rage towards his siblings. But his siblings did know of one weakness. You see, they knew that Naruto was half genie, due to their mother's writing and notes that she left in her room. Therefore, they knew of a weakness they could give him. And then they created it an indestructible, pale white lamp created to seal him away. And so they did such. They sealed Naruto away within the lamp, and then brought it to a strange dimension. It was known as the Pale Desert, an endless dimension that was never day nor night. It was just endless white sand. And there they brought the pale white, indestructible lamp. As due to the fact that Naruto's soul was not, tethered to the lamp entirely, if it was destroyed, Naruto would still be alive. And so, Naruto was still very powerful and very terrifying. His siblings, as I said before, sealed him away. We skip a couple thousand years later. Around 2,000 years to be exact. Naruto was simply chilling within his lamp. Imagine this, but basically pale white with a red aura around it. Okay? He was just basically chilling around, lazing about within his lamp. Upset, of course. But then, out of nowhere, a portal had opened. A scroll, it appeared, a seal. And there he saw it. What appeared to be a young child with purple-blue hair and pale white eyes. She had stolen a Uzumaki's seal, which brought them to a realm where there was seemingly nothing, as they called it the Pale Desert. It was just a land filled with endless sand. And no matter what, you were never in the same place twice. However, where the seal opened up was basically just right underneath of, Naruto's lamp. The lamp then fell within, and the seal basically plopped right into the young purple-haired girl's arms. She was confused, of course, and then rubbed the lamp, feeling a strange and innate thought to do so. As she then rubbed the lamp, and out of it appeared what appeared to be a gold and orange fiery tornado, which then shrank down to reveal it was just a tail. From the other side appeared a boy, or not a boy, a teenager. As he then said, taken. 2,000 years gives you such a crick in the neck. As he then say, hello, you must have rubbed my lamp. If so, then I must ask, what are your 3 wishes? Hinata simply, yes, this is Hinata Hyuga, and she simply held onto the lamp and fainted. A couple hours later, Hinata woke up, still seeing Naruto there, and she then asked, what was he? He then said, I am Naruto. I'm a great and powerful genie. What's a genie, you might ask? Allow me to explain. You see, a genie is a being with almost limitless power, but normally a genie is born with, it's created, or has, a couple of limits. First, they can usually only grant wishes unless they're wished to be free, unless someone wishes for the genie to be freed. Second, a genie's lamp is basically its entire weakness. If the genie's lamp is ever destroyed, poof goes genie. Of course, my soul is not entirely tethered to the lamp, so I won't die if it's broken, I'll be a bit hurt. But not a bit, a lot. I'll be very hurt. And maybe a bit weakened? As he then said. And then, finally, a genie basically, has a couple of rules. And by a couple, I mean there's basically like 100 rules, but there's only 3 important ones. You can't wish for a genie to kill anyone. You can't wish for a genie to make anyone fall in love with you. And you can't make a wish for a genie to, well, let you have more wishes, as that's basically not how things work. As he then said, so, child, what are your 3 wishes? Hinata then said, I need to think about this. I'll tell you my first tonight, if that's alright with you. As he then said, sure. For now, though, as he then poofed into his human form, wearing now the outfit you see here. As he then say, I'm going to relax. As he then basically sat sat on against the wall, and simply just looked at the other side of the room itself. A few later that night, Hinata then told the genie, and told Naruto, I know what I want. He then said, what? As she then said, I wish for you to be free. This, of course, confused the hay out of Naruto. As he then said, are you sure you want me to be free out of my lamp? I mean, you have no idea what I'm like. You have no idea what I could do. As she then said, you are right, and your chakra. You do have a lot of chakra, and it does seem very scary, but I'll help you out. As she then said, I wish for Naruto to be, and for the genie in my room to be free. As suddenly, the white oil lamp, which was in Hinata's hands, poofed out of existence. As Naruto then says, finally, I'm free after 2,000 long years. Finally free! As Hinata then said, so, do you have any parents? As Naruto then said, I had a mother once. I had a mother and 2 sisters. However, they betrayed me. And however my sisters betrayed mother, I fought against them, but they locked me up inside that lamp for 2,000 years. Supposedly, I think they were trying to seal me away forever, but fate has a weird way of doing things, you know? As Naruto would then say, so, I have a big debt to owe you. You just granted me quite literally freedom. What do you want? And she then said, well, I don't really have any friends, as all the other girls my age are obsessed with this girl named Sasuke. As Naruto then said, alright, deal. I guess I could be your friend. As he then said, I promise I'll be your best friend. Got it? He would then create a and as he then make a smile so bright, it even for a moment appeared to overshine the dang sun. As he then chuckled. As he then said, "So, what do you want?" "So, what do you want to do? Huh? Do you want me to, I don't know, give you any power?" As he would then quite literally create a mini Saturn in his hands. As he then said, "Or do you want to play a game?" As he then grabbed the mini Saturn and flattened it in his both two palms, creating a disc, which he would then throw around like a frisbee and create a clone to grab it. As he'd then say, "Or do you want to train?" As he would then create what appeared to be 3 suns in his palm, as the 3 then rotated around a blue sun, like a atom's rotation would normally work. As he then said, "No, how about, do you want fame, fortune, money, power? What do you want? I'm your best friend. I'm your friend now. I can do it all." As he would then begin to sing "Friend Like Me" within her own room, even beginning to bend the very laws of physics when it came to her room. As in the inside, it was just a standard, small room. And on the outside, it looked like a small room in a building. However, on the inside, it appeared to be a ginormous temple. As Naruto simply said, "Ed, I can quite literally do anything. And, well, since you freed me, I'm now your friend. And I help my friends out, As Naruto then created another smile, so bright it overshined the sun. Hinata then blushed Hinata tomato red, and fainted after having a tiny nosebleed. And by tiny, I mean large. As Naruto then shrugged in confusion and turned his legs into, a blazing trail of flame into his tail, as he would then basically just float around the room in confusion. As we go deep underground, as we see a burned down temple, underneath it, we see a large broken down dungeon. Within the dungeon, we see an old, dusty lamp. As then, we see a rat or mouse climb on the lamp and accidentally slip on it, seeming to rub it. As the lamp would then shake and begin glowing pure red with limitless power. And out of the lamp would appear Jafira, as she would then say, "At long last, freedom." And that's where I'm ending this part off. I hope y'all have enjoyed part 1 of What If Naruto Was a Genie? I hope y'all have enjoyed. Please like if you did. Please subscribe if you feel like it. Hit those notifications if you want to see if you want notifications on videos. Comment what you thought of the video and who his, love interest should be. Should he have a harem? Should he have one girlfriend? Who should be in this harem? If not, should he have 1, 2 girlfriends? Who knows? And comment what type of ideas you want to see in my other videos. As for why I haven't really been doing a lot of videos, I'm saving a big surprise. You see, July is my birthday month, so I was thinking of a large video July month, where I'll be posting videos a lot faster. and on much larger scales. Hold on. Alright, so, like I was saying, July will mainly be continuation videos. This means I'll be doing part 2s, part 3s, part 4s, and new videos you guys post in the comments. So, if you have stayed to the very end, post your comments at the bottom of the video. And if you have stayed to the very end, then post a penguin emoji. Just so I know. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Goodbye and, skadoosh.